The Beck Center Game of the Week, brought to you on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. The Beck Center Game of the Week, brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevy GMC, Coca-Cola, and Jack Houston Memorial Hospital Houston Clinic. I'm Dave Platt, along with Ricky Rogers, our producer, and we're going to bring you a pretty wild ball game here. The Pacelli Vikings getting set to take on the Citizens Christian Patriots. The game is not being played at Diamond Field. Instead, we're out here at Calvary. It's a doubleheader where Citizens Christian will play Calvary next after this ball game is over with, and this too will be on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. So here we go as the teams get ready to take the field. And we're about ready to take the national anthem. So when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for you for both ball clubs. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Drive away in the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile!
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Welcome back to the campus of Calvary Christian School, where the Pacelli Vikings are getting set to take on the Citizen Christian Patriots. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. First, for Citizens Christian, we'll be leading off here in the top of the first. Leading off, shortstop Gray McLean. Batting second, the second baseman Thomas Gentry. Skylar Woods, the catcher, will bat third, with the cleanup hitter Blake Bryant, the first baseman. Bryant is a commit to Clemson. Clay Phillips is on the mound. He'll hit fifth, with Jackson Knight, the DH, batting sixth. Mason Spivey at third base will bat seventh. Jonah Hill in left bats eighth. And Landon Williams in center field bats ninth. Luke Russ will be DH for. As for the defensive setup for Pacelli, for the Vikings, Levi Thompson is in left. Fleet Nolan Vaughn is in center field, with Aiden Dixon in right. At third base is Landon Lauk, Jacob Velos at short, Cam Carino at second, and Sean Maglione at first. Behind the plate is Alex Aponte. And on the mound for the Vikings is Carter Dixon. Dixon making his 7th appearance of the season. Dixon is 2-3 on the year with a 5.53 earned run average. In 12 2/3 innings, he's given up 10 hits, 14 runs, 10 of them earned. He's walked 20, struck out 6, given up a couple of homers, but opponents are only hitting .208 against him. So we will see what goes on. And leading things off for the Patriots is shortstop Gray McLean, the senior. McLean is the leading hitter on the club, hitting .486 with 2 home runs and 24 runs batted in. So Carter Dixon getting ready to deliver the first pitch of the ball game. And here we go. And a pitch a little bit inside for ball one as things get started at 5:01 Eastern time. Beautiful, beautiful weather out here. 80 degrees and sunny. A southeast wind at 7. And the next pitch a little bit outside for ball two. Gusts to 11. It's kind of swirling around a little bit. Sometimes it feels like it's blowing out, sometimes in. So a 2-0 count now. Carter Dixon gets the sign and delivers. Swinging, sent to right field. Aiden Dixon is right there, and off his glove. Dixon Chucking it towards second, but McLean pulling up on the two-base error. Aiden Dixon, normally sure-gloved, reached up. It's the sun field today. He must have lost that line drive in the sun. Looking back, that's a nasty angle. Left field, of course, at Diamond Field, the sun field. This time it's right field, and it costs him. So a two-run error to start the first inning. That brings up second baseman Thomas Gentry. Gentry hitting .346 with 2 homers and a team-leading 30 runs batted in. Carter Dixon's first pitch. Gentry takes it low and outside for ball 1. Gentry is a sophomore, but a talented one. They're looking at down the road. He may be playing SEC ball. Here's the pitch. McLean breaks for third. Aponte's throw a little bit late, and McLean slides in with the stolen base. And for McLean, it is his team-leading 37th steal of the season. So now he is 90 feet away from first base with nobody out. And the count 1-1 on Thomas Gentry. Dixon out of the stretch. And delivers the 1-1. Strike 2 on the inside corner. So 1-2 count now on Thomas Gentry. Dixon wants to try to stay ahead of hitters here. Try to get out of this jam early on. Try to get this first out of the game. The 1-2. Breaking pitch way up there, ball 2. 2-2 count now. Gentry held off on that one. Looking down for a sign from head coach Jeremy Corum, who was coaching at third. Robbie Epker in the coaching box at first. Here's the 2-2. Almost chased it. Did he go? The appeal? No. So it's now a full count on Gentry as he works the count full. Dixon gets the sign from Aponte, comes set. And here's the payoff. Fouled off behind home plate, onto the street, behind the field. So the count remains 3-2. The Vikings coming into the game with a record of 7-16. They've been a hard luck team all season long. Citizens Christian is the defending GIAA 1A state champion. Ball 4. Gentry walks, runners on the corners now with nobody out. And they are coming with a record of 22-1. They ran the table in region, 9-0. All right, coming up, the number 3 hitter, Skylar Woods, the senior catcher. Woods hitting .393 on the year with 2 homers and 26 runs batted in. Carter Dixon with runners on the corners and nobody out here in the top of the first, trying to pitch out of a jam. The stretch, the first pitch to Woods. He takes it for strike 1. Nice fastball inside corner. Gentry leading off. He's got 10 stolen bases on the season with runners on the corners. There's room for all kinds of mischief out there. The 0-1 delivery outside, ball 1. 1-1 count now on Skylar Woods. The Vikings getting set for the final series of the regular season. They'll be taking on Strong Rock. 1 game at home on Tuesday and then 2 on Friday out in Locust Grove. And the pitch fouled off. Count now 2 errors. The count is now 1-2. 1-2 on Skylar Woods. Runners on the corners. Pacelli trying to get the first out of the ball game here. Trying to get out of a jam. No runs have been scored yet. Vikings trying to see if they can choke off this rally. Dixon comes set. And the 1-2. Fouled off into the screen. Count remaining 1-2. Sean Maglione chasing the ball down, flipping it out of play. As I mentioned, a perfect day for baseball. People are starting to hopefully start filing in here at Calvary to catch this ball game, this first of 2. The pitch outside for a ball, 2-2 count now. And as I mentioned, this is a doubleheader. Citizens Christian making the run all the way up from Douglas. To make it worthwhile, what they're doing is they're playing Pacelli here in the first game. Game started at 5, and they're scheduled to play Calvary after this game is over on Calvary's home field here. A doubleheader for CCA. The 2-2 ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Woods bringing in a run. Gentry holds up at second. So Skylar Woods with the run batted in, and Citizens Christian jumping out to an early 1-0 lead here in the first inning. And a courtesy runner coming in, as Woods is the catcher. That runner is Tyson Crosby. He's a junior. Crosby for 15 stolen bases, so there's a runner on second, so that's not necessarily an option, but that does tell you he has some good speed. Coming to the plate, Blake Bryant, the first baseman. The dangerous hitting Blake Bryant. Bryant hitting .349 with the team-leading 4 home runs and 29 runs batted in. As I mentioned, he is a commit to Clemson. Dixon's first pitch to Bryant. Bryant swinging, ground ball to short. Velos, it handcuffs him. He still managed to get it. A great play by Jacob Velos. It hit off the heel of his glove, popped up. He barehanded it out of the air, threw it over to third base. Landon Lauk ahead. Got the force at third. Great defense there by Velos. So that is the first out of the ball game. Well done, Jacob Velos. So the 1-out runners at first and second. Clay Phillips, the pitcher, coming to the plate. Phillips hitting .302 on the season with 9 runs batted in. He's already got a run to work with. He'd like to add to the lead and help his own cause. Dixon's pitch. Outside corner, strike one. Plate umpire Paul Kite. No questions about that one. That was a strike. So 0-1 count now. Dixon trying to come up with a couple more big pitches here. 1 out. 1 run in. The Vikings would like to choke it off at 1. Dixon's come set. And now the 0-1 delivery. Swinging, sent to the left side, out of play down the left field line for strike 2. The Vikings getting a little bit of trouble with an error, but a great defensive play by Jacob Velos is short, getting that first out of the inning. Rolling 2 would be a good idea, the Vikings say. Matt Hall would love to see that happen. And time is called. Phillips stepping out of the box. He's back in, and we get ready to go. Paul Kite gestures out to the pitcher. Let's go. Dixon comes set. And the 0-2 delivery. In the dirt for a ball. 1-2. Couldn't get Phillips to chase that one. Chance coming from the CCA dugout. They want to add to that 1-run lead. Dixon looks in, gets the sign, and the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Out number 2 there as Phillips strikes out. And that'll bring up Jackson Knight. Knight, a senior designated hitter today. Knight hitting .306 with 2 homers and 20 runs batted in on the year. He's trying to see if he can pick up a runner. Vikings looking to get out of this jam with minimal damage. An error to lead off the game cost them a run. But Dixon's made a couple of big pitches here. 1 out away, getting out of this jam. Dixon getting the sign from Alex Aponte. And Knight steps out. Time called. He's back in. So here we go. Dixon into the motion. Comes set. And a first pitch. Breaking ball over the head of Knight. Goes back to the backstop and bounces straight back to Alex Aponte. Neither Tyson Crosby nor Blake Bryant even made a move on that one. That's what happens, of course. He's on these high school fields. There's not a lot of room behind home plate, and just because the pitch gets past the catcher does not mean the runners are going to get to advance. Unless there's a weird carom, sometimes it pops right back to the catcher. So 1-0 count. Dixon's delivery. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Beautiful breaking ball from Dixon. Got him to chase it. So 1-1 count. Dixon gets his sign from Aponte. Comes set. The 1-1. Sent up in the air to right. Dixon, Aiden Dixon underneath it, makes the catch, and that is the inning. In the inning, 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error, and there were 2 runners left on base. So at the end of 1/2 inning, Citizens Christian 1, Pacelli coming to bat. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
And we're back at Calvary Christian's Field as the Pacelli Vikings get set to come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning of their game against Citizens Christian. Let's take a look at the Vikings lineup. Leading things off will be junior second baseman Cam Carino, Vikings' toughest hitter. Batting second, Nolan Vaughn in center field. Hitting third, shortstop Jacob Velos. Levi Thompson in left will be batting cleanup. Alex Aponte behind the plate today hits fifth. Billy Smith will be DHing. He's number 6 in the lineup. Sean Maglione getting the start today at first base, hitting 7th. Carter Dixon, the starting pitcher, will hit 8th, with Aiden Dixon, the right fielder, hitting 9th. The player being pinch hit or being DH for is Landon Lauk. As for the defensive setup for the Patriots, Jonah Hall is in left field, Landon Williams in center, Luke Russ in right. The infield third to first, Mason Spivey, Gray McLean, Thomas Gentry, and Blake Bryant. Skylar Woods is catching, and on the mound, Clay Phillips. Phillips is a freshman. This is his 7th appearance on the season. He's 2-0 on the year. His ERA is a sparkling 0.39. In 18 innings, he's given up just 8 hits, just 1 earned run and 1 run in total. He struck out 22 and walked 5. Hitters hitting a paltry 131 against him. He's hit 4 batters and thrown 1 wild pitch. Phillips, a tall left-hander. Of course, he's going to have to start off with the toughest guy in the lineup for the Vikings, and of course being Cam Carino, who's been red hot all season long. Vikings trying to come up with a run to match that 1 run in the top of the frame, that unearned run scored by the Patriots. So here comes Cam Carino, the junior second baseman. Carino, the team's leading hitter in virtually every category. He's hitting .440 on the year with a couple of home runs, 16 runs batted in. That's a lot of RBIs for a guy who's been hitting cleanup most of the season. And he's also scored 22 runs, leads the team with 7 doubles, 4 triples, 25 stolen bases, on-base percentage, slugging. Basically, he's the guy that gets things going, the guy at the top of the lineup, trying to set the table and see what the rest of the lineup can do. Just look out for number 3, Jacob Velos, the third number 3 hitter, Jacob Velos, when he gets up there. Meanwhile, catcher Skylar Woods getting his chest protector realigned there. And so here we go, getting ready for the bottom of the first inning. Clay Phillips gets the sign. And the first pitch to Carino. Outside, ball 1. Hey, the first inning sponsored by Carol Purdue, your local State Farm agent who's supported Georgia, Alabama Sports Live from the beginning. Give her a call today. She's the biggest State Farm agent in East Alabama. She's got customers on both sides of the river. Next pitch, Carino fouls it off to the right side, out of play behind first base as it bounces onto the street. As folks come by driving down the street past Calvary, they better keep their eye out. So the count now 1-1. Phillips, the delivery. Carino takes it up high, ball 2. 2-1 count. Phillips getting the sign from Woods. Comes out, here we go, the delivery. In the dirt, ball 3. 3-1 count now on Cam Carino. Nolan Vaughn on deck, with Jacob Velos looking on as well. A tough 1-2-3 punch for the Vikings at the top of this lineup. Clay Phillips getting the sign, goes into the motion. The 3-1. Fouled off by Carino. And a count now 3-2. Good pitch by Phillips. Carino getting a piece of that one. Matt Hall coaching at third. He's the head coach. Jonathan Lawrence, the first base coach. Here's the 3-2. Carino up in the air. It goes foul and out of play on the first base side. A couple of fans walking by the concession stand didn't even look up. Would have been a good thing if they had. So the count remains 3-2. Phillips into the wind. And the payoff again. Carino chops it. Gets a piece of it, goes foul, dribbles down by the Pacelli dugout, so he remains alive. He got a piece of it, stays in there. 3-2 still. It'll be pitch number 8 coming to Carino in this at bat. And the delivery. Carino takes it, ball 4. So he walks for the 10th time this season, and the Vikings hit the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the first, and they are in business. That'll bring up junior center fielder Nolan Vaughn. Vaughn hitting .217 on the year with 1 home run and 7 runs batted in. But Vaughn, a good eye at the plate, his on-base percentage, .409. He's taken a lot of walks this season. He has a good eye. He's number 2 on the team in walks. Getting guys, get him on, get him over, get him in. Vaughn trying to get on for hard-hitting Jacob Velos, who's on deck. Phillips comes set. First pitch, Vaughn shows bunt, pops it up behind home plate. Skylar Woods chases it. There was no way he was going to get that one. It fell to the ground too quickly. So, strike 1. As for Carino with 25 stolen bases on the season, leading the team. The Patriots very aware of his speed and of his base running abilities. Phillips coming set. Here's the 0-1. Vaughn showing bunt again. Pulls it back for a ball. Carino sliding into second base. Throw goes into center field, and it pops away from the center fielder. Carino sliding, goes standing up into third base. So stolen base number 25 for Carino. And then the throwing error allows him to go to third. So the Vikings, with their first run just 90 feet away from scoring here with nobody out in the first. We've seen this movie. It happened in the first inning. So now Vaughn, count 1-1. Phillips out of the wind now, and the delivery. Vaughn takes it. It gets past the catcher, but not far enough. It dribbled just out of the dirt area. Woods quickly pouncing on it, so Carino had no opportunity to make a run for home. So count now 2-1. A good hitter's count for Vaughn. Vaughn has been doing some good situational hitting here this season. And a pitch up high, 3-1. He's been patient. So 3-1 count now, Nolan Vaughn. Carino on third. Vikings hoping they can see him to knot this thing back up. The pitch. Big swing by Vaughn and a miss. Strike 2. So the count now full. Phillips trying to pitch out of a jam here in the bottom of the first. After Carter Dixon managed to do it with minimal damage in the top of the inning. Phillips pitch. Outside, ball 4. The 20th walk of the season for Nolan Vaughn. So 2 walks have got put runners on the corners, and Jacob Velos comes to the plate, and it is time to go visit the mound. Head coach Jeremy Corum going out to talk to the freshman Clay Phillips. His 2 walks have put them in a little bit of jeopardy here. First and third, nobody out, with 2 very fleet base runners on base. One note with Vaughn. Vaughn's got a dozen stolen bases. He's fast. Remember, he's the center fielder. He can go chase him things down, and he does so frequently. He's one of those guys that pitchers love to see out there. He can cover a lot of ground out in center. Now Jacob Velos coming up. Velos, the sophomore. It's been an interesting season for Velos. He started off 1 for 19, but that was because they were pitching around him so badly. He was taking so many walks, he got frustrated. But they've been pitching to him lately, and now he's hitting .297 with 2 homers and 19 runs batted in. Leads the team in ribbies. He'd like to make number 20 out of it at least. Phillips comes set. First pitch to Velos. Up high, Vaughn just trots down to second. They just let him go. He had a big jump anyway. There was no way they were going to get him. So that's stolen base number 13 for Vaughn. So runners on second and third, ducks on the pond. Velo's trying to turn them into runs. Here's the 1-0. Velo's swinging off the fists, fouls it up into the screen. Got a lot of wood on it for it being on his fists. So the count now 1-1. Wind is blowing now. It feels like it's blowing in the face, so it's like it's blowing in from center field. Pretty good clip, too. The dusts were up to 11 before. Though to the pitch. Velo sends it to left field, and it is caught on the run by Jonah Hall, but Cam Carino strolling in home to score. Vaughn moving up to third base, so the sacrifice fly to left by Jacob Velos ties this ball game up at 1-1. The RBI, the 20th of the season for the sophomore shortstop. So the Vikings with a runner on third and one out, game tied 1-1. Levi Thompson coming to the plate. Thompson is a junior, hitting 152 with 9 runs batted in. First pitch to Thompson, swinging and a miss, strike one. Thompson wearing 17 today rather than his traditional 7. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1-1 count now on Levi Thompson. Vaughn dancing around a little down there down around leading off third base. See if we can do a distraction. Meanwhile, Phillips is working out of the wind. The pitch. Up high, ball 2. Levi Thompson would not chase. So the count now 2-1 on the junior. Vikings 1 run in already. The runner, the corners, he's showing bunt, pulls it back. 3-1 count. One thing for Thompson, he leads the team. He's got a couple of sacrifice bunts already. This is a perfect opportunity for a squeeze. Phillips has been working out of the wind. And he still is. First baseman, third baseman playing in. We'll see on this 3-1 what Thompson does. Does not show bunt. Instead, it's ball 4. So now we got runners on the corners once again here with 1 out. And that'll bring up the catcher, Alex Aponte.
That'll bring to the plate catcher, number 13, Alex Aponte.
Aponte, a sophomore, hitting 161 with 3 runs batted in. Aponte and Thompson split time between the plate this season. Early in the year, Aponte was playing left. Thompson was behind the plate. Now it's been switched. And what's been interesting was Thompson's made some great plays out there in left field, and Aponte's gunned a couple of guys. The Vikings pretty lucky. They've got 2 good catchers who could also play the outfield. First pitch to Aponte, showing bunt. And does not connect. It's strike 1. It was not a suicide squeeze. It's a safety squeeze. Vaughn was not going on the pitch. Third baseman already in, playing in. Mason Spivey in about 3 steps in front of the bag. 0-1 in the dirt. 1-1 count. Waiting to see if Thompson will go. Thompson has not stolen a base this season. This might be the time. Who knows? Lots of chances for mischief here. Runners on the corners and 1 out. And a guy who can bunt pretty well in Aponte. He's already got 1 sacrifice bunt this season. Phillips comes set. The pitch. Into dirt, ball. And Thompson off and running. They're probably going to call that one a wild pitch. It was in the dirt. But now we've got runners in second and third. 1 out. Aponte with a chance to drive in a couple of runs. Nope, they're going to call that a stolen base. Works for me. First stolen base of the year for Thompson. Clay Phillips gets the sign. Here's the 2-1. Off the fist, fouled by Aponte. Got a piece of it, but back behind the plate. So the count now 2-2. Again, the Vikings 1 run in the inning with the opportunity for some more. If Alex Aponte can deliver with some good situational hitting. Nolan Vaughn on third, Levi Thompson on second. Phillips goes into the motion to 2-2. Aponte swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is out number 2. That will bring up the DH, Billy Smith, the senior. Smith's hitting 154 with 3 runs batted in. Smith, of course, the top pitcher on the Vikings staff. Also plays third base and DHs. And today it's a DH role. First pitch to Smith, way outside, ball one. Smith's got 3 ribbies. He'd like to maybe turn it into 5. Because remember, there's 2 outs, so Thompson will be off on contact. Phillips out of the wind, goes into the motion. Here's the 1-0. Outside ball 2. The freshman having a little bit of trouble finding the plate in this first inning. He's already in his 29th. This will be his 29th pitch of the inning. Goes into the motion. The 2-0. Smith takes it. Ball 3. 3-0 count now. Billy Smith. You got to figure he's going to be taking this all the way. But you never know. We'll see if the freshman left-hander gets it across the plate this time. Phillips gets the sign from Woods, goes into the motion, and here is his 3-0. Smith taking it all the way, catches the corner at the knees. A 3-1 count. All right, a good pitcher's count here for Billy Smith. See what he can do about getting another run across the plate and give the Vikings the lead. Phillips, the 3-1. Smith swinging, fouls it off into the screen. Count now full at 3-2. Vikings needing to make the most of every opportunity they get. They've got one. They love more. Clay Phillips gets the sign. Here's his payoff pitch. Smith takes it, ball 4, and the bases are now loaded. The Vikings with 1 run. They've had 4 walks this inning. Not a hit, but 4 walks. And Sean Maglione coming to the plate, the sophomore. He's hitting .243 with 9 runs batted in. Big opportunity for the big guy to get that RBI total into double digits. Phillips out of the wind. The pitch. Maglione, big swing, strike 1. Vaughn on third. Thompson on second. Smith on first. And Maglione at the plate trying to see what he can do about converting. The pitch. Breaking ball way outside. Count now 1-1. Phillips having all kinds of problems finding the plate. As I mentioned, 4 walks in the inning. The pitch, 1-1 pitch, big swing. Count now 1-2. Maglione chased that one. So 1-2 count. Vikings, Calvary knotted up at 1. Vikings trying to take advantage of this big opportunity. The pitch to Maglione. At the letters, strike 3 looking, and that ends the inning. In the inning, 1 run and no hits. There were no errors, and there were 3 runners left on base. At the end of 1 inning, it is Pacelli 1, Citizens Christian 1. You're watching the Meck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
A strong workout means a strong recovery. And with your Planet Fitness Black Card, you get access to 6 new amenities, like the Red Light Sauna and Polar Dry Plunge, both designed to reduce muscle soreness and relieve tension. Reset, restore, and recover your muscles so you can do it all again tomorrow.
You gotta try this.
Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down, $24.99 a month.
New Black Card Spa amenities. Even stronger value. Deal ends May 15th.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Special thanks to Glenn Smith for being our original presenting sponsor. From day one, their unmatched support and commitment to our community has fueled our mission to bring you the very best local sports coverage. We're proud to partner with them again in year 4. All right, top of the second inning. Citizens Christian 1, Pacelli 1, and the Patriots sending to plate 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Leading things off will be the third baseman, Mason Spivey. Spivey is an 8th grader, but he's seeing a lot of action. He's hitting .226 with 14 runs batted in. First pitch from Carter Dixon, way outside for ball 1. Dixon did a fine job in the first inning pitching out of a jam. The leadoff hitter got on an error. He would score, but Dixon coming up with the big pitches when he had to get out of it with just the 1 run. The 1-0 up high inside, so it is now a 2-0 count on Mason Spivey. Dixon into the motion, the 2-0. Breaking pitch. Ooh, just a little bit inside. Close, but not quite. So now at a 3-0 count on the number 7 hitter. Spivey trying to get the leadoff man on and get something going. 3-0. Ball 4. So he walks on 4 pitches. So Carter Dixon walking the leadoff hitter, and I'll bring up Jonah Hall.
Brings to the plate left fielder number 3, Jonah
Hall, the left fielder, is a junior. He comes into the game hitting .431 with 14 runs batted in. One of the several players that played every single game this season. Another guy hitting .431 at the bottom of the line is pretty solid. The bunt scooped up by Landon Lauk over to first for the out, but the sacrifice advances the runner. So with 1 out, the Patriots with the runner in scoring position. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, center fielder Landon Williams. Williams is a senior. He's hitting .326 with 1 home run and a dozen runs batted in. Carter Dixon trying to get out of another mini jam here. Top of the second. Runner at second, 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Landon Williams. Williams outside. Williams would not chase. Ball 1, 1-0 count. Dixon on pitch 30 here in the second inning. Both pitchers have been laboring just a little bit. Plenty of walks here. And the pitch. Swinging, lined into left center field, falls in for the base hit. Levi Thompson comes up, gets it in. There's no way. Spivey comes in and scores easily on the single. And so the Patriots have retaken the lead at 2-1 on that RBI single to left field by Landon Williams. And now it's the top of the lineup coming to the plate. Gray McLean coming up. McLean, the shortstop. In the first inning, he got on an error on the right fielder, Aiden Dixon. Dixon, look, my guess is lost it in the sun. Want to be a 2-base error, McLean would come in and score. First pitch, and the runner going. The throw by Aponte is late and sails into center field. Vaughn chasing it down, though, but Landon Williams with the stolen base. For Williams, that's steal number 12. So once again, a runner on second base, a runner in scoring position, 1 out with McLean at the plate. And the count 1-0. It was a tough pitch to throw. Aponte didn't really have much of a shot at him because Williams got a good jump too. So here we go. The Patriots have taken the lead, and they'd like to add to it. Carter Dixon comes set, checking the runner at second. The pitch, swinging, driven to left field, and it falls in front of Levi Thompson for a base hit. It was just close. Thompson had to decide whether to chase it or not. He decided not to make the gamble and come in for it and take it on 1 hop. So runners on the corners now with 1 out, and Thomas Gentry coming up the plate. Gentry, he walked and he was forced out in the first inning. Dixon trying to pitch out of trouble again here in the second. Runners on the corners, 1 out. He gets a sign from Aponte. The pitch. Runner going for second. Aponte throwing the choke. Cut off by Jacob Velos. But Williams did not even make a move toward home. So now it's runners on second and third with 1 out. 0-1 count. The pitch was a strike. Dixon. He's going to work out of the wind with runners in second and third. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt, couldn't get Gentry to chase. Count now 1-1. Fans on the Patriots side and the third base are fired up. They want to see something happen here. Breaking pitch, sent to center field. Nolan Vaughn camping underneath it. Takes it, catches it, and the throw is toward third. The relay to third over goes over the head of Landon Lauk, and not only does Landon Williams score on the sac fly, Gentry scores on the error. So they eat 6, and 2 runs come home, and it is now 4-1 Citizens Christian. 3 runs in this inning. Not what the Vikings wanted to see here. So 3 runs on 2 hits. A walk comes back, of course, to haunt them. And coming to the plate, Skylar Woods, the catcher. Woods singled in the run in the first. First pitch to Woods, outside, ball 1. Woods, the senior catcher, is committed to Southern Virginia. Meanwhile, Gray McLean, who just scored on that play, he's committed to Emmanuel College in North Georgia. Ground ball to short, Velos, nice play over to Maglione for the out. Velos scooping it up, looking good doing so, and that ends the inning. But in the inning, 3 runs on 2 hits. There were no error. There was 1 error, and there was no runners left on base. So at the end of 1 1/2 innings, Citizens Christian 4, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Drive away in the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile!
And we're back here at Calvary for Pacelli's home game against Citizens Christian. Go to the bottom of the second inning. Vikings have just surrendered 3 runs at the top of the inning, trailing it 4-1. They got to see what they can do about keeping pace. And in this inning, we'll have the 8-9-1 hitters due up. Carter Dixon, Aiden Dixon, and Cam Carino. Clay Phillips struggled in the first inning. He walked 4 batters, but he only surrendered 1 run. The Vikings wound up leaving 3 runners on at the end of the inning. A missed opportunity, but they got to make some more opportunities here. And one thing about Phillips, that inning, he threw 37 pitches. You don't stay in a game long if you have 37 pitch innings. But here we go. We're getting ready to get going here. Skylar Woods, of course, was on base. We're getting set up again. He made the final out. Taking that last pitch, the last warm-up pitch, fired it on to second, and then we get things started. Carter Dixon coming to the plate, the pitcher. Dixon on the season is hitting 111 with 3 runs batted in. He, of course, plays left field when he's not on the mound. Dixon trying to help his own cause. He's given up 4 runs, but only 2 of those runs are earned. Clay Phillips, big freshman left-hander, gets the sign from Skylar Woods. And here's the first pitch to Carter Dixon. In the dirt, ball 1. As I mentioned, first inning, Phillips had all kinds of problems finding the plate, but he did also come up with 2 strikeouts. Here's the 1-0. Dixon sending it to center field. Will it hang up long enough? It does indeed, and it's brought in by Landon Williams for out number 1.
That'll bring the plate right fielder number 11, Aiden Dixon.
Coming to the plate now, right fielder Aiden Dixon, the sophomore. Dixon hitting 094 with 3 runs batted in. His hits have all been substantial, all been consequential hits, good situational hitting when he's come up with the hits. First pitch, Dixon swing and pitch in the dirt, strike 1. He'd love to get on and set the plate there for Cam Carino's on deck. Give Carino something to work with. Phillips getting the sign, goes into the motion. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt. 58-foot fastball. Strike one. Ball one. 1-1 now. It's a lefty on lefty matchup here. The 1-1. Letter high for a strike. 1-2 count. Sun setting still, making right field even tougher. Because remember, the field is in a natural bowl. And as the sun begins to set, it's going to be directly into the eyes of the right fielder. Curveball catches the inside corner, strike three. Paul Kite says that's an out. Out number 2 here in the second. And that will bring up Cam Carino, the junior second baseman. Carino walked, stole second, went to third on an error, and scored on a sacrifice fly. That gave Pacelli their 1 run in the first inning. Here he comes up with 2 outs, trying to come up with a little 2-out thunder. Clay Phillips goes into the motion. Here's the pitch. Carino fouls it off behind home plate, and wow, there was a car driving by it, missed it by about 3 feet. It's kind of like being at Dynamo Field when you park behind home plate. You take your chances. Glass companies in Columbus are waiting. Here's the 0-1. Carino takes it. A little bit outside. Good eye. Count now 1-1. That's the beauty of baseball. It's always a challenge. Where do you park? The 1-1. Carino down the third baseline, foul. Matt Hall couldn't quite chase that thing down. Left to the Patriots to bring it in, to get it back into play. Yeah, I've started parking way away from baseball fields. I used to be lazy because I got a lot of stuff. Well, I've gotten older and wiser, perhaps. With my luck, that I said that I'll get hit with one. The pitch. It's a ball. 2-2 count now on Cam Carino. Carino trying to get something started here. Nobody on base. 2 outs here in the second. Pacelli down 3. The 2-2. Carino sending out into left field into no man's land. It falls in for a hit. So it's a single for Carino. And the inning's still alive. That'll bring up Nolan Vaughn.
Single for Carino brings to the plate number 8, Nolan.
The junior center fielder walked and stole second in the first inning. He wound up as far as third base, but could go no farther. Let's see what he can do. Carino had stolen base 26 there in the first. Let's see if he goes. He's got a big, substantial lead there off first base. Clay Phillips comes set. And he goes to the plate. First pitch, Vaughn's big swing and a miss, strike 1. Pitch was a little bit outside. Vaughn chased it just a bit. 0-1 count now. We'll see if Carino got the sign to go. Phillips comes set. Checks the runner. And over to first, he throws behind the runner, and Carino winds up with the stolen base. Cam Carino, fast. He went. The throw over to first was not fired hard, and first baseman Blake Bryant fired it down to second base behind Carino. So Carino was stolen base number 27 after they picked him off. That's base running, folks. All right, the 0-1 to Vaughn. In the dirt, ball 1. So Vaughn up there, 1-1 count with 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Vaughn trying to see what he can do about converting this run and picking up RBI number 8. Phillips comes set. And here's the 1-1. Vaughn takes it inside, ball 2. That was close. Good eye by Vaughn. The Patriots very aware of Carino out there. Second baseman Thomas Gentry faded over toward the bag. We'll see if they make a move toward him or not. Big hole on the left side, or on the right side of the infield. The pitch. Up high, ball 3. 3-1 count. See, that's one of the advantages of having a guy who steals bases out there. He distracts the defense, he distracts the pitcher, and they have to be very cognizant of exactly where he is. And that leaves things open for hitters. You don't necessarily get all the concentration, and When mistakes are made, hitters can pounce on it. All right, 3-1 count. Phillips delivers. Carino goes inside, ball 4. Meanwhile, Carino steals third base. The throw down there was nowhere close. Runners in the corners with 2 out, and that brings up Jacob Velos.
Now to bring to the plate, number 6, Jacob Velos.
Velos hit a sac fly to left field in the first. Drove in the Vikings 1 run. But now there's runners in the corners with 2 outs. The big hitting Velos, who has 20 runs batted in to lead the team, at the plate with a chance to add to that 1-run advantage, maybe cut into this 3-run deficit. Phillips comes set. He goes over to first. Vaughn just trots back. Not a huge lead for Vaughn, not yet anyway. Plus, you got Carino on third. You have to be aware of what he's going to do. I mean, he's already got 3 stolen bases in this game. Vaughn, nice lead. Phillips delivers to Velos. Jacob takes it for a ball. Good eye. Velos has been very patient at the plate all season long. He leads the team with 27 walks. The first 10 games of the season, nobody would pitch to him. Now they are, and they're regretting it. Here's the 0-1, the 1-0. Big swing and miss, strike 1. But Vaughn goes into second with another stolen base. So runners on second and third. 2 runners in scoring position for Velos. Count 1-1. It was a good thing to swing and protect the runner. All right, 1-1 count. 2 speediest guys on the team on base. Phillips pitch. Velos takes it inside. Ball 2. 2-1 count. Levi Thompson on deck. They're going to be careful with Velos. He has been ripping it lately. Tied for the team lead with 2 home runs. Here's the 2-1. Velos, big swing and a miss, strike 2. He chased it just a little bit. He's a little upset. Smacking the bat a little bit. Talking to himself. Now he has to protect the plate. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Big deuce is wild. Pacelli trying to cut into a 3-run deficit. Clay Phillips gets the side, goes into the line. Here's his 2-2. Outside ball 3, full count now. Velos filling things up. There is room to put him somewhere. We'll see if Phillips challenges him here. He gets the sign, goes into the windup, and the payoff. Velos swings, miss, strike 3, and that ends the inning. So in the inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 2, Citizens Christian 4, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Hey, this is going to be a big weekend for indoor football. The Columbus Lions will be at home against the Mississippi Wolfpack. The Lions, winners of their first 2 ball games. The first one in 79-0 blowout fashion. The second, a two-point nail-biter with a pick in the end zone in the final seconds to seal the deal. Taking on the Mississippi Wolfpack. It'll be 7 o'clock on Saturday out at the Civic Center. The game will, of course, be carried on the Lions YouTube channel. Mike Peacock and I will be on the call for that one. As for this one here, the Beck Center Game of the Week, Citizens Christian coming to the plate in the top of the 3rd inning. 4-5-6 due up. Blake Bryant leading it off. The first baseman takes the first pitch, strike 1. He hit into a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. As mentioned, Bryant has been committed to Clemson for a couple of years now. He will be heading over and become a Tiger next year. The pitch. Fouled off into the screen. Count now 0-2 on Bryant. Carter Dixon hasn't pitched badly here. Couple of walks. He's been victimized a little bit by the fielding. 2 of the runs are earned, 2 of the runs are unearned. Dixon going into the line. Here's his 0-2 delivery. Bryant swinging, fouls it off onto the street. No cars coming by this time. Bounces in the middle of the street and across the street. Well, teams have freshmen. That's what freshmen are for. They're going to have to go chase the balls down. So count still 0-2. Dixon gets the sign from Aponte. The pitch, curveball. Could not get Bryant to pan the zone. Outside, ball 1. 1-2 count. The Vikings, of course, playing this one, trying to get ready for their final series of the season. They will host Strong Rock tomorrow night at 5:30 on senior night at Dimel Field. Dixon's 1-2. Breaking pitch. Ooh, a little bit inside. Trying to break it off and break it in off the inside corner. Didn't quite happen. Paul Kite said not quite. So the count now 2-2 on Bryant. And a 2-2 pitch. Bryant swinging strike 3. So that's out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Second strikeout of the game for Carter Dixon. And that will bring up Clay Phillips, the pitcher, who was the other strikeout victim. That was back in the 1st. Phillips has done a pretty good job of pitching out of jams, too. The Vikings have 5 runners on base so far. First pitch, Phillips swinging, sending it to right field. Aiden Dixon's wearing his sunglasses this time, easily making the play. Out number 2. Yeah, I think after the opening play where Gray McLean lined it to right field, I'm not sure Dixon was wearing sunglasses. He definitely is wearing them now. And where the sun is right now in comparison to the field, he has to. Again, this field's in a natural bowl, and the right fielder is staring directly into the sun, as is the first baseman. All right, Jackson Knight at the plate. And first pitch outside, ball 1. Knight flew out to right field to end the 1st inning. Carter Dixon's pitch. Swing and a miss for a strike 1. 1-1 count now. Dixon retiring the first 2 hitters, trying to make it 3 in a row. Gets the sign. Here's the 1-1. Breaking pitch. Big swing. Pitch was in the dirt. He chased it. Count now 1-2. Good pitch by Dixon. Dixon has done pretty well considering, he hasn't hit pitch 50 yet. Next pitch, sky to the right side. Cam Carino underneath makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Citizens Christian. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 2 1/2 innings, Citizens Christian 4, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Your surprisingly great race? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Perdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, today's coverage brought to you by Coca-Cola, presenting sponsor on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. With deep ties to our schools and strong support for local youth athletics, it was a no-brainer to partner with them, if I can say it. All right, we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Vikings trailing 4-1, trying to see what they can do about narrowing this 3-run deficit. 4, 5, 6 due up. Levi Thompson, Alex Aponte, and Billy Smith will be coming to the plate for the Vikes. Clay Phillips settling down just a little bit. He walked 4 batters in the 1st inning. He surrendered a hit and a walk, but came up with a couple of strikeouts. He struck out 4 guys in his 2 innings of work. But the big left-hander has thrown a lot of pitches. Let's see, pitch count on him is at 59. The first pitch will be pitch number 60, and we are just getting into the bottom of the 3rd inning. 30-pitch innings won't leave you out there longer than maybe 3-4 innings. So here we go. Levi Thompson leading things off. Thompson, he walked and stole second back in the first inning. Phillips goes into the line. Here's the first pitch to Thompson. Thompson swinging. Pitch up in his eyes, strike one. Vikings trying to get something going. They had things going. What they're trying to do is make them convert on those things. The 1-0-1 outside. 1-1 count now on Levi Thompson, the junior left fielder. Last week, Thompson made an outstanding play to start a double play in extra innings against Calvary. Showed that he's got a good glove out in the outfield, not just behind the plate where he's been spent most of the season. That was a ball. 2-1 count now. Phillips rocks and delivers the 2-1. Strike two, right down the middle. So 2-2 count. And the delivery. Up high, he thought about it, held off. Count now full. Full count. Levi Thompson leading off here in the bottom of the third. Phillips gets the sign. Here's the payoff pitch. In the dirt, ball four. So Thompson walks for the second time today. And the Vikings are in business here in the bottom of the third inning with the leadoff man getting on. That'll bring up catcher Alex Aponte, the sophomore. Aponte struck out in his first at-bat. Thompson on first. He had that one stolen base. Was that, of course, in the first inning. The sign. Here comes a pitch from Phillips. Bunting, Aponte, fouled. 4-1. Let's get him on, get him over, get him in time for the Vikings. Play has seemingly settled down now after a rocky first couple of innings for both teams. Now it's going to be a little more analytical, a little more precision baseball. Phillips comes set. Thompson, good lead off first. He breaks for second, and Aponte grounds it. Oh, what kind of luck do the Vikings have? The ground ball would have been a base hit up the middle. Thompson broke for second on a hit and run, and the second baseman went over to cover, and it was a three-hopper right to him. He was standing on the base. That's the kind of season the Vikings have had. Even when they did it right, it didn't work. That was just bad luck all the way around. So a double play, Gentry to Bryant, and now there's 2 outs and nobody on. Coming to the plate, Billy Smith. First pitch to Smith up high, ball one. Smith walked in the first inning. That encapsulates right there the Vikings season. That just tells you what's been going on. Here's the wind of the 1-0. Smith takes it for ball two. The Vikings have once in a while shot themselves in the foot, but there have been so many things that they did right that just didn't work. Been a lot of atom ball all season. Great plays made by other teams. Just all kinds of bad luck plays. The 2-0, Smith swinging. Oh, he wanted that one bad. A little bit underneath at 4-1. Fouled it off into the screen. He wanted to square that bad boy up. So the count now 2-1 on Billy Smith. 2 outs here, nobody on for the Vikings. Clay Phillips getting the sign, goes into the motion. Here's his 2-1. Smith fouls it off into the screen, high up into the screen. 4-2. So 2-2 count now on Billy Smith. He's going to have to protect the plate. See what he can do by getting some 2-out thunder going, trying to get something going. Clay Phillips looking to close out the inning. Goes into the motion, the 2-2. Smith fouled off. Woo! A really sharp liner that went toward Sean Maglione on deck. Maglione ducked it, nailed the bricks, and almost bounced into the dugout. The way the field is laid out, you can bounce it off the bricks and carry it into the dugout. 2-2 pitch. Swinging and a strike three, and that ends the inning. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 3, Citizens Christian 4, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to Zaxby's for their continued partnership with us for over the last couple of years since we started this. Your partnership has meant the world for us to give you premier coverage for all the local sporting events around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And specifically, I want to thank Judson Humphreys, my good friend, and the Phoenix City location, being with us from the very beginning, man.
Absolutely. Well, we just appreciate what y'all do in the community for these student athletes, and we just want to be a part of it.
Whether it's tailgating, parties, or you just want a quick bite to eat, come to the Phoenix City Zaxby's location and tell them Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
All right, back to Calvary for Pacelli's home game against Citizens Christian. Top of the fourth inning, 7-8-9 due up for the Patriots. They lead the Vikings by a score of 4-1. They'd love to add to that lead. Leading things off will be Mason Spivey, the third baseman. He walked and scored in the second inning. First pitch from Carter Dixon. Strike one, because as Spivey went down to get out of the way of the pitch, it hit the bat. Okay, maybe that doesn't even things up for the would-be single that turned into a double play in the top of the inning, but that's maybe a break for Pacelli. They're due some breaks here. So an 0-1 count. Dixon winds. Second pitch to Spivey. Spivey grounds it up the middle. Smith goes after it, loses his glove. Couldn't get it. Jacob Velos he batted it down, kept it going from the into the outfield. But that's a base hit up the middle. So that evens up, I guess, for the hitting the bat with the ball. So the leadoff man gets on for the Patriots. That'll bring up Jonah Hall, the left fielder. Hall dropped down a perfect sacrifice bunt that helped set up the runs in the second inning. Dixon's first pitch. Paul looks like he's going to bunt, doesn't. The throw down to first, snap throw by Aponte is on the wrong side. Sean Maglione tries to lay the tag on Spivey, no go. So 0-1 count. Jonah Hall gets set, and here comes Carter Dixon's 0-1 pitch. Thinks about bunting again. That one's in the dirt for a ball, so 1-1 count now. Third baseman Landon Lauck, of course, coming in hard. Dixon comes set. And the pitch. Faking the bunt, no throw down to first either. Ball got away from Aponte. It wouldn't have got him at first anyhow. That would have. You don't want to test fate too many times. It's too easy to airmail one into right. 2-1 count now. Jonah Hall tries the bunt, doesn't work. It's a strike. So now it's a 2-2 count. Again, Landon Lauck charging in from third base. Carter Dixon getting the sign here. It's a 2-2 delivery coming to Hall. Line to second, and it gets past Cam Carino into right center field, goes all the way to the wall. And the runner is going to come in and score on the double. It's a stand-up double for Jonah Hall. A ground ball that went past Cam Carino and slid through between the center fielder and the right fielder, hit the fence. So it's a ground ball double. Hall driving home Mason Spivey with run number 5 in the game. The Patriots up 5-1. Again, another bit of bad luck. Everything's just rolling against Pacelli so far. Landon Williams coming to the plate. The center fielder, the number 9 hitter. Williams singled in the second inning and later scored. And time's been called. Matt Hall coming out to talk to Carter Dixon. Kind of settle things down. Yeah, everything the Vikings have touched so far, just nothing's quite worked. It was close, but not quite. And again, sometimes it's their fault. In this case, it's just one of those things. They have to kind of stay with it. That's the one thing they've done. They haven't quit all season long. They've had to run into bad luck, and they just set their caps and go back at it and try it again. About all you can do in situations like that. All right, conference over. Jacob Velos going there to give Carter Dixon a little bit of support as well. So number 9 here, Landon Williams. Again, he singled to left field, stole second, and then came in to score in the second inning. He's got a runner in scoring position in Jonah Hall. 1 run in already. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Carter Dixon comes set. And the pitch. Breaking ball just a little bit up. Ball 1. Dixon getting the sign from Aponte. Hall taking a pretty good lead off of second base. And the delivery. Swinging, fouled off into the screen, high into the screen. Caught on the rebound there by Aponte. This isn't arena football. That doesn't count. Sad to say. Hall leading off second. He's got 7 stolen bases. We'll see if he breaks or not. He's taking a pretty solid lead off there. But with a 5-1 lead, how and nobody out here in the inning, you don't want to make your first out at third base. The 1-1. In the dirt, gets past the catcher. Aponte firing it down to third, and he slides in under the tag of Landon Lauk. So now, another run 90 feet away from scoring. We'll see if they call that. It's called a pass ball on Aponte. So runner in third, nobody out. Williams at the plate with a 2-1 count. Dixon now working out of the windup. And the pitch. Breaking ball, strike 2. At the letters, broke right over the plate. Perfect pitch. So 2-2 count here. Vikings looking to get it out and trying to stop the bleeding here. They trail it by a score of 5-1. 2-2. Strike 3 looking. Landon Williams unhappy with himself. And that is strikeout number 2 on the day for Carter Dixon. And that'll bring up the top of the order in Gray McLean. McLean got on in the first on an error, came in to score the first run, and then singled and scored in the second. Pitch to McLean. Ground ball through the hole is short. Dive by Velos. He can't flag it down. So it's another hit for McLean, and a run comes home. McLean goes to second. He hustled, turned into a hustle double. Vikings a little slow getting the ball in from the outfield, and McLean taking advantage of it. So runner on second, 1 out. 2 runs in the inning in a 6-1 ball game as McLean drives in his first run of the day. Thomas Gentry at the plate now. Gentry walked in the first and hit a sacrifice fly, which brought in 2 runs after a throwing error in the second. First pitch outside, ball 1. Gentry, a sophomore, clutch hitter. Came into the game hitting .346. Dixon checking a runner, gets a sign from Aponte. Will McLean break? We will see. Dixon still comes set. He hasn't moved. And the play, as expected, Gentry finally calls time. Dixon wasn't going anywhere. He wanted to see if McLean would twitch, make some sort of move toward third. I mean, McLean's got 36 stolen bases, 36 stolen bases on the season, leads the team. The pitch, breaking ball, just a little bit inside. A lot of bend on that one, but it started out way too inside. So count out 2-0. Thomas Gentry trying to turn this into another at least 3-run inning with a fleet runner on second and 1 out here. Dixon comes set. And the pitch behind and over the head of Gentry, but it caromed right back to Alex Aponte, and McLean could do nothing. Again, not much territory between home plate and the backstop, and most of those pitches like those will carry them right back to the catcher. Runners have to think twice before they break. You don't just go because they got past the catcher. You can't. 3-0 count now. Dixon still comes set and finally delivers. Breaking ball right over the middle, strike 1. 3-1 count now. Dixon trying to get something going, again, we try to talk about stopping the bleed, and they want to get an out here. Just get something positive going after 2 runs have scored in this inning. Here's Dixon. Nope, Dixon kind of turns towards second. There was nobody on the bag. Because Velos had gone back to his fielding spot. All right, here we go. 3-1 Velos. Carino both sneaking back and forth towards second. And the 3-1. Up the middle, Carino charging over to first. It one hops and skips past Maglione. And that will allow a run to score. And the runner will advance. The ball goes out of play. So, a throwing error on Cam Carino allows the run to score. And it is 3 runs here in the top of the 4th inning. And that makes it 7-1, and here comes Matt Hall, and we are going to have a pitching change. So let's take a break. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Houlihan serves fresh, handcrafted dishes made just the way you like them. Juicy burgers, sizzling steaks, crisp salads, and shareable appetizers set the table for every appetite. Relax with friends, celebrate special moments, or enjoy a casual night out. Houlihan's delivers great food, great drinks, and great times, with 2 locations in Columbus, downtown at the Marriott Hotel and on Sidney Simons Boulevard at the Doubletree Hotel.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
And we're back at Calvary as the Pacelli Vikings make a pitching change. Senior Dustin Sherman coming in, taking the mound for the 10th time this season. Sherman with an 0-2 record, 4.05 earned run average. In 19 innings, he's given up 21 hits, 17 runs, 11 of them earned. Struck out 20, walked 14, given up 1 home run. He's thrown 5 wild pitches, hitters hitting .284 against him. He comes in with the Vikings trailing by a score of 7-1. 3 runs have scored in this inning. The 1 runner on base is still the property of Carter Dixon, so we can't close the books on him yet. Dixon, 3 1/3 with 6 hits and 7 runs, 4 of them earned at least so far, with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. Dixon did not pitch badly. He was just a victim of bad luck here and there, and things just kind of spiraled in the last couple of innings. So, Dustin Sherman trying to see what he can do by shutting this thing down as Skylar Woods steps up. First pitch to Woods, up high, ball 1. Woods singled in a run in the first inning and grounded to short in the second to end that inning. Meanwhile, Sherman, the senior, comes set, the 1-0, up high, ball 2. 2-0 count. Sherman's been a key reliever all season long. Again, coming in now to try to stop things, try to slow it down so the Vikings have a shot at maybe coming back here in the late in the game. And the next pitch, low, ball 3. 3-0 count now on Skylar Woods. You know he's taken this time. There is no way he's lifting that bat off his shoulder. When you bring a relief pitcher who throws 3 balls, you have to wait and see him to throw a strike before you start swinging. The pitch, up high, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk as Sherman enters the game, and now there's runners on first and second, and that brings up the dangerous Blake Bryant, the first baseman, the senior. In this ball game, has grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. But remember, he came into the game hitting .349, and he's got 4 home runs, which leads the team. Pinch runner, courtesy runner, of course, goes back in, and that, of course, was once again Tyson Crosby for the Patriots. So Dustin Sherman coming set with runners on first and second, 1 out. His first pitch to Bryant. Fastball. Catches the corner. Strike 1. Perfect pitch. 0-1 count now. The Vikings handle Bryant so far. Can they do it again? Sherman getting the sign from Aponte. And the 0-1. Bryant lines it over the third baseman's head, and it's going to go into the left field corner for extra bases. Gentry comes in to score. Crosby charging home, the throw home, and he is safe. The throw was on time almost. Alex Aponte tried to lay the tag on him. It got knocked loose and slid behind the plate. Bryant pulling up at second and staying there. So it's a 2-run double for Blake Bryant. It is 5 runs in this inning, and Citizens Christian has taken a 9-1 lead over the Vikings. Good piece of hitting by Bryant. Sherman got it in there, and Bryant just laced it over the head of third baseman Landon Lauk. He leaped, but the only way he's going to catch that if he had a butterfly in there, it was on a ladder, and it rolled into the corner. Levi Thompson chased it down. They did a good job getting it in, but the throw to the plate just a little bit late. And now that brings up Clay Phillips. Phillips takes the first pitch up high, ball 1. Phillips struck out in the first and flew out in the third. He would love to help his own cause. Runner on second with just 1 out. It's a 9-1 lead for the Patriots. Next pitch goes behind Phillips, gets away from Aponte. Bryant trots on down to third on the wild pitch. So now, runner 90 feet away. 5 runs in the inning already for the Patriots. Vikings trying to settle things down, trying to keep it from getting any more out of hand than it is. 9 runs on 7 hits. The pitch, a little bit outside. Ball 3. 3-0 count now on Clay Phillips. Means you can close the books on Carter Dixon. The pitch inside, ball 4, and the walk puts runners on the corners with 1 out. Okay, for Dixon, 3 and a third, 6 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned.
Now batting number 1, Jackson.
3 strikeouts, 2 walks. With the double, all the throwing errors and everything else, I'm sorry that the official score says 6. I'm going to call 5 earned runs because one of the runs got on an error. That would have been out number 2. So here we go. Jackson Knight coming up to the plate. Knight flew out to left and popped to second in his 2 at-bats. He comes up with the runners on the corners, 1 out. The first pitch fouled off into the screen, strike 1. Citizens Christian. Big inning here. 3 doubles, 3 extra base hits in this inning to go with a single. And 1 untimely error. 0-1. Runner breaks for second. Aponte's throw snaps it back to the pitcher. They were just going to let Phillips go to second. Or, excuse me, the courtesy runner. Is that Phillips at second? Looks like it is. Could be a courtesy runner. I think it is Phillips. So they just let the runner go. There was no point. He threw it back to Dustin Sherman, hoping that the runner would break from third. He didn't. So second and third. The pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did for a strike. Count now 1-2 on Jackson Knight. And no, that is not Phillips on second base. Big lead off second. Pitch in the dirt for the ball. 2-2 count. That courtesy runner is Connor Reckley. Number 6. The junior has 8 stolen bases, so he's got good speed too. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball to short. Jacob Velos charging in, and they're going to get Bryant at the plate. Perfectly played by Velos. He charged at the runner, and at that point, Bryant was committed. Home to home. Toss over to Aponte to get the out. So runners still on the corners, but now there are 2 outs. And Mason Spivey coming to the plate. He is the 10th hitter in the inning as the Patriots bat around here in the 4th. 5 runs in on 4 hits. Vikings, again, trying to keep it from getting any worse and seeing what they can do at the plate. Spivey walked and scored and singled and scored. He singled off to lead off the inning, and he scored the first run of the 5 in this inning. And he pops it up right side. Maglione making the catch in the sun, and that ends the inning. But in the inning, 5 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 error and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 3 1/2 innings, Citizens Christian 9, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Hey, from the sidelines to surgery, Houston Clinic, a proud presenting sponsor on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. They keep athletes in the game. Meanwhile, the Pacelli Vikings trying to get back in this one. 5 runs in the top of the 4th inning by Citizens Christian. They open up a 9-1 lead. The Vikings got to get to work here in the bottom of the 4th inning, sending up the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, trying to set the table. If the last 3 in the lineup can get on and set the table for Cam Carino, maybe they can get something going here. It'll be up to Sean Maglione to get things started. Hey, remember, we're going to name our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game when this thing is over with. We still got a lot of baseball to be played, though, so it could be anybody just yet. And as I mentioned, Maglione will lead things off. The sophomore struck out in his first at-bat back in the 1st inning. Clay Phillips has settled down after a really rocky 1st inning where he walked 4 batters and allowed 1 run. He has settled down. He's given up just 1 hit on the day, though he has walked a couple more hitters. 6 walks on the day so far, but just surrendering 1 hit. And the first pitch to Maglione. Swing and miss, strike 1. Oh, 1 count on Sean Maglione. Vikings down 8. They just got to get somebody on and get something going here. Whatever it takes. The 0-1. Maglione fouls it off into the screen. 4 strike 2. 0-2 count now on Sean Maglione. Again, the Vikings will be back in action tomorrow in a game that really matters as they host Strong Rock in their final home game of the regular season. That one game will be at 5:30. I'll be right here on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live, and I'll be there on the call. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up pitcher Carter Dixon. Dixon flew out to center field in his first at-bat. That was back in the 2nd inning. He hit it pretty good, but center fielder was able to chase it down. Vikings need some good things to happen here. Enough bad things have happened, that's for sure. First pitch to Dixon. Low and outside, ball 1. 1-0 count. Shadows lengthening as the sun continues to drop. Here's the 1-0. Now it's 2-0. Ball was inside. 2-0 count now on, Dustin Sherman rather than Carter Dixon. My bad. Dixon, of course, in the pitch. This will be his first at bat. Outside for a ball. 3-0 count. Sherman coming into the game hitting .192 with 1 home run and 11 runs batted in. 3-0. You know, the bat is not twitching off his shoulder, I don't think. And the pitch. It's a strike. 3-1. So 3-1 count now on Dustin Sherman. The pitch. Outside, ball 4. So Sherman walks for the 15th time this season. I doubt they'll send in a courtesy runner for Sherman because he's the starting first baseman usually. Sean Maglione getting the start today. Oh, they are sending in. David Mann will come in to run for him. Mann usually the pinch runner for the pitcher, or one of the pinch runners. He's got one stolen base on the season. The other pinch runner, the other designated runner usually is Greg Carter, a sophomore infielder. Ball got loose. I'm not sure what that was. There was some sort of object out there in left field. Might have been a basketball or something. They checked it out of play, and we're ready to get things going again. Aiden Dixon coming to the plate. Dixon struck out looking in the second inning. Meanwhile, David Mann taking a pretty good lead off of first. Clay Phillips coming set. And the first pitch to Aiden Dixon. In the dirt. The catcher firing it down to second base, and the ball goes into the outfield. Mann broke when the ball went into the dirt. Woods did his best to chuck it down and get Mann. He might have had him, but the throw was a little bit wide to the left, and it bounced into center. We'll see how they score that one. Probably a wild pitch. Count 1-0 now on Aiden Dixon. Runner in scoring position. Vikings down 8. They just got to get something going. They want to put something on the scoreboard, get something positive going. They've only got one hit on the day. Kennedy stepping back off the mound. Mann retreats to second. And they're going to call that one a stolen base. So, runner in second, one out, 1-0 count. Clay Phillips comes set. And the delivery. Dixon grounding it to second base, a two-hopper. He's thrown out, but advances the runner to third. If you're going to make an out, at least advance the runners, and that's what Dixon did. So, runner on third with two out, and Cam Carino coming to the plate. Carino has walked and scored and singled. He's also stolen 3 bases on the day.
Now batting number 1, Cam Carino.
Cam, one of those guys, has been the glue for this Viking squad. They've had a tough season, but they've never quit. Here's the first pitch to Carino. Inside, in the dirt for a ball. Woods did a good job keeping it in front of him, keeping Mann from even thinking about trying to advance from third. So 1-0 count on Carino. And the pitch. Taken outside, ball 2. Carino with 16 runs batted in on the season. He would love to make it 17. No doubt about that. Here's the 2-0. Big swing by Carino, strike 1. The problem is he doesn't want to get, you can get frustrated in a game like this when things aren't breaking your way. You can get frustrated and start hacking at things you shouldn't. And whatever ball is out there, it looks like maybe it's a soccer ball, maybe it's a basketball, I don't know, rolls back out. Yeah, it's a soccer ball. And the shortstop, Cray McLean, went out to left and picked it up and booted it back to wherever it came from, which looks like it was on the football field. It's probably soccer practice. There we go, 2-1. The delivery. Carino up in the air, right side. But Thomas Gentry's there to make the catch, and that ends the inning. So in the inning, no runs on no hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. At the end of 4, Citizens Christian 9, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
A strong workout means a strong recovery. And with your Planet Fitness Black Card, you get access to 6 new amenities, like the Red Light Sauna and Polar Dry Plunge, both designed to reduce muscle soreness and relieve tension. Reset, restore, and recover your muscles so you can do it all again tomorrow.
You gotta try this.
Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down, $24.99 a month.
New Black Card Spa amenities. Even stronger value. Deal ends May 15th.
Hey, make sure you follow Georgia Alabama Sports Live on all social media platforms for the latest updates on local sports in our area. Don't miss a game. Subscribe to all of our pages today. All right, we go to the top of the 5th inning here on the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Citizens Christian leading this one 9-1 as they come to the plate. 8, 9, and 1 will be batting this inning at least. Of course, in the 4th inning, they sent 10 men to the plate. 5 of them crossed the plate to turn it into an 8-run lead for the Patriots. Dustin Sherman now in on the mound for the Vikings. Came in and got the final 2 outs, surrendering one of the runs and giving up a double in the process. He's trying to shut it down, try to keep the Vikings in this thing, and give them some chance because they have hopefully will have 3 at-bats to do something. First pitch taken by Jonah Hall for a strike. Hall had a sacrifice bunt that would help lead to a run in the second, and he doubled and scored, an RBI double and scored in the fourth. The 0-1 outside in the dirt. And the count now 1-1. Hall, the junior left fielder, had a pretty good day for himself. Sherman will pitch out of the stretch automatically. The pitch popped up, foul. It doesn't get as far as the straight, falls into the grassy area behind the first baseline. As a fan strolls over to go get it for everybody. They'll save the freshman some work because usually it's the freshman job to go chase those, right? The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 is in the dirt. Aponte down to Maglione to make it official. So the K2-3 to open up the inning. First strikeout of the day for Sherman. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Landon Williams.
That'll bring the play. Number 11, Landon Williams.
Singled in a run in the second and struck out in the fourth. The senior center fielder. Sherman delivers. Up and high at low bridge there, inside, ball 1. Citizens Christian came into the game 22-1. They're defending Class 1A state champions, and it looked like they're well on their way to winning a second straight title. And the pitch outside corner, strike 1, 1-1. They've had a great season, no question about it. They've won most of their games in commanding fashion. Some, a lot of run rule games in there. They have dominated. And the pitch from Sherman outside, ball 2, 2-1. Shadow's starting to lengthen on the field, but at right field is still a nasty, nasty sun field. Pitch from Sherman, a little bit low, a little bit outside, and that makes the count 3-1. A good hitter's count now for for Williams. Yeah, as Alex Apani calls time, he's got to fix his equipment. There he got something in his eye. Yep, some grit in his eye. It's kind of dusty out here today. We got some rain on Sunday, but it wasn't really enough. We need more rain, believe me. My front yard is screaming for it. On the other hand, I won't have to cut it as much if it stays this way. So, there's wins and losses in all this. 3-1 count now. Sherman comes set, and the delivery. Swinging right side. Cam Carino camps under it, takes it over his shoulder, an easy catch for Carino, and that is out number 2 here in the 5th. And now bring up top of the order, Gray McLean. McLean has had himself a day. He got on an error in the first inning, a fly ball that Aiden Dixon lost in the sun. He made the most of it, coming to score the first run of the game. He then singled and scored in the second, and then he doubled and scored in the fourth. Sherman's first pitch to McLean. Curveball outside, ball 1. Here we go, ready for the 1-0 delivery. McLean fouls it off into the screen behind home plate for strike 1. Again, Vikings trying to get in and out of this inning and try to keep it down to what it is now and get 3 shots at coming back. Dixon's 1-1 from Sherman outside, ball 2, 2-1 count. Again, Sherman comes set, and a 2-1. Swinging right side. That's Aiden Dixon out in right field in the sun field, making the catch, and that ends the inning. A 1-2-3 inning. The second one of the day for Pacelli pitchers. in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 4 1/2 innings, Citizens Christian 9, Pacelli 1. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Both Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for you. Get supplier pricing today on all new Chevy Silverado 1500s with up to $13,500 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third row seating, and enjoy up to $6,000 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile.
All right, bottom of the 5th inning here at Calvary. The Pacelli Vikings trailing 9-1, desperately trying to get something on the board to cut this lead. They've only got one hit so far today off of Clay Phillips. Phillips was wild the first couple of innings, walking 5 hitters in those first 2 frames, but the Vikings leaving 5 runners on base in the process. And that's come back to haunt them right now. A couple of errors allowed. They've allowed 3 unearned runs of the 9 that they've allowed. So that's kind of the difference right there. Early chances not taken advantage of, and then a couple of miscues handing some runs away. You can't do that to a team that comes in 22-1, a really good team that is likely going to win a second straight GIAA Class 1A state championship. So in this inning, 2, 3, 4 due up, heart of the order. Nolan Vaughn will lead things off. Vaughn with a couple of walks, a couple of stolen bases as well. But he's been left in scoring position each time he's gotten on base. That's the kind of thing the Vikings cannot afford to do. Vaughn trying to set the table and see if Jacob Velos and those who follow can put a dent in this 8-run deficit. And we'll mention again, the Vikings will be in action again tomorrow as they open the 3-game series against Strong Rock. Game 1 will be at Dymo Field starting at 5:30 tomorrow. It'll be senior night to honor the 3 seniors on the squad, Billy Smith, Nathan Boatner, and Dustin Sherman. And then game time, 5:30, as the Vikings try to see if they can make a move to earn a spot in the playoffs. Right now, they are ranked 13th in GIAA 4A. The problem is only 12 teams get in. They really need to have a strong finish. What they really need to do is sweep Strong Rock to see if they can get into the playoff picture. They're going to take some doing here. One thing that would help is if they could have a strong finish here, even if they don't come back and win this thing, a strong finish here to give them a little bit of momentum going into tomorrow. Mental lift is what they need right now because they've had all kinds of bad luck today. Nolan Vaughn stepping up there. As I mentioned, 2 walks in 2 plate appearances. First pitch, curveball, strike 1 from Clay Phillips. No, that is not. Is Phillips still in the ball game? Looks. And a pitch, and that's not Phillips. It's a new pitcher, and Vaughn rips it to center field, off the wall. It caroms out toward left field. Vaughn will pull in with a double, a stand-up double for Nolan Vaughn, and the new pitcher is in the game. New pitcher is in the game for Citizens Christian. That'll be Sam Abels, the junior. Abels, this is his 10th appearance of the year. He's 1-1 on the season with a 4.20 earned run average, 11 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, struck out 14, walked 9, and given up a couple of home runs. Vaughn, if that had been hit at Dynamo Field, that might have gone, but that falls in for a double, but it's a leadoff double to get things going for the Vikings. Jacob Velos at the plate now. Sophomore shortstop. He's hit a sacrifice fly to drive in the 1 run and then struck out in the second. First pitch from Abels. Velos swinging, fouls it off. Strike 1. As for the line on Phillips, Phillips went 4 innings. Gave up just 1 run, it was earned, on 1 hit. Struck out 6 and walked 7. So the Vikings have had plenty of runners, they just haven't been able to do anything with it. Abels delivers. Velos won't chase it, so it's ball 1. 1-1 count on Velos. Nolan Vaughn on second. Vikings down 8. They just got to get something on the scoreboard here. Velos swinging, fouled off. Right side onto the street. No cars coming by this time. No windshields were in danger in the making of that foul. Got now 1-2. So Velos goes into plate protection mode. Hit could be a run, of course, because Vaughn is fast. He's got 14 stolen bases on the year. Not that they're going to send him that down by 7. The pitch, Velos drives it to center field. It will fall in for a base hit. Vaughn had to hold up, so he is not able to score on that one because they weren't quite sure if center fielder Landon Williams was able to chase it down. He was not, but that's a hit for Velos. Runners on the corners with 1 out, and Levi Thompson coming to the plate. Thompson, 2 plate appearances, 2 walks. He also has a stolen base on the day. So Thompson with a chance here. Nobody out, runners on the corners. Pacelli down 8, so it means just get something. There's too many bagels up on the scoreboard on the bottom side of the thing. Thompson with 9 RBI on the season so far. Number 10 would be nice. First pitch up high, ball 1. 0-1 on Thompson. Velos leading off of first. Velos has 14 stolen bases on the year. Abels comes set. Over to first. Velos scampers back. They don't even try to tag him, though it wasn't that close. I just let Velos know they know he's there. Again, down 8. You have to be aggressive, though. Only 1 hit on the day. You got to manufacture runs back to first. Velos back in easily. He's taking a big lead, but the throws over there aren't really sharp throws either. Of course, left-handers do have that advantage where you can do fancy footwork without doing a bulk motion and fool runners. Abels comes set again, this time to the plate. Up high, ball 2, 2-0 count. That's one of the other advantages. If you're worrying so much about the runner, the hitter becomes doesn't get quite full focus. So 2-0 count on Levi Thompson, a good hitter's count. Abels. And he moved his knee. That's a balk, straight up. I saw that one coming. And so, Velos dancing off of first, coaxes a balk out of Abels. And so a run comes home. He'll take him however you can get him. Velos advancing to second. Vaughn comes in to score to cut the deficit to 9-2. So it's a 2-0 count on Thompson. Abels. Velos still dancing around off second. Abels comes to the plate. Outside, ball 3. Distracting the pitcher. That worked. I would give him a run distracted in, an RDI there for Jacob Velos. How about that? 3-0 count. The pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. So for the 3rd time today, Levi Thompson walks. So runners are now on first and second with nobody out, 1 run in. Alex Aponte coming to the plate. Aponte struck out in the first and was the victim of just amazingly bad luck in the 3rd. They did a hit and run, sent Thompson. Aponte hit a classic bouncer up the middle. The problem was the second baseman had moved over to cover second. It bounced right to him, and it turned into a double play. First pitch, Aponte takes it inside for ball 1. So Aponte, if he hits it again up the middle, this time should mean something. You got Jacob Velos leading off of second. He's fast. You got Levi Thompson leading off first. Velos dancing around trying to distract the pitcher. It worked once. I don't think it'll work again, but you got to try. Curveball catches the corner. 1-1 count now on Alex Aponte. We'll see if Matt Hall's got something up his sleeve coaching down at third base. Vikings head coach would love to give his guys a lift here. 1-1. Abels comes set. And the delivery. Breaking pitch high and outside for ball 2. 2-1 count. Vikings have cut it to 7. Aponte would like to make it 6 or 5 or whatever. Abels coming set on the 2-1 account. His delivery. Swing by Aponte. Did he get a piece of it? Yes. He got a piece of it. He got past the catcher, Woods, but hands up, foul ball. So the count now 2-2. Nobody out here in the fifth inning. Vikings with 1 run in, trying to turn this into something big. Citizens Christian's put crooked numbers on the scoreboard twice in this ball game. The Vikings need to do it now. Abels delivers. Aponte, right side, foul down the right field line, off the roof of the batting cages and across the street. We'll see if it's going to be fans or freshmen to chase that one down. Count remains 2-2. Abels getting ready. And the delivery. Aponte reaches out, gets a piece of it, cues it down the first base line to stay alive. Velos is dancing off second base with his lead. Has gotten the attention of Thomas Gentry. Gentry has been fading over in case Abels decides to make a move and to throw to second to try to keep Velos from getting too much of a lead. They do know that if Aponte puts the ball into play and Velos gets a head start, Velos has the speed to score. And another 2-2 delivery. Aponte up the middle, off the leg of the pitcher to short, the second base. Get one out. The throw to first is thrown away, and Velos hustles on home on the throwing error. It's a double play. It was a double play attempt. You can't call it an error for that, but it did advance the runner. So we will see how that all plays out. But Aponte grounding into a fielder's choice. Runner out at second for an assisted. Velos advanced to third and came home when Gentry airmailed the throw to first base. So that's run number 3 in the inning, or run number 2 in the inning. It is now 9-3. The Vikings have that crooked number on the scoreboard, the one they've needed so badly. So here we go. Billy Smith coming to the plate. With runners on the corner, with a runner on first, 1 out. Vikings 2 runs in the inning. Can they add to it? They've already cut the lead down from 8-6. Sam Abels delivers. Big swing fouled off by Smith, strike 1. They needed this. The Vikings needed this very, very badly. They needed something positive to happen, and they've gotten it with a pair of runs. And the ball fouled off by Smith, rolls up over the dugout. Yeah, no throwing error on that. You can't charge somebody with an error in an attempt to a double play. I might argue the point because the error had nothing to do with the double play. It had to do with allowing a runner to score. But I'm not going to argue that point. All right, 0-2 count. Here's the delivery. Smith taking up high, doesn't even chase it at all, way up there, ball 1. 1-2 count, Billy Smith trying to keep the train going here. Just keep the parade moving. And the delivery. Up the middle, second baseman Gentry was right there, makes the catch, gets the force, throw to first, airmailed again. So the force play gets the runner at second, but again, the throw to first does not. So 2 outs now with a runner on first, 2 runs in, and Smith does advance to second base on the throwing error. So we'll see if they charged with an error on that one. I'm going to call both of those errors, quite frankly. They allowed runners to advance. And that brings up Sean Maglione. Maglione struck out both times. He's been at the plate. But now he has a runner on second base with 2 outs, a chance to maybe tap home another run. First pitch up high, outside, ball 1. Maglione with 9 runs batted in on the season. Sam Abels coming in here to start in the 5th inning, surrendering 2 runs. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball up high, ball 2. Maglione's tall. To throw a pitch up high, you have to work at it a little bit. Abels comes set. The pitch. That's a strike. 2-1 count. So here we go. 2-1 count. Sam Abels comes set. Sean Maglione at the plate. Runner on second. The pitch. Maglione, big swing for a strike. 2-2 count now. Billy Smith trying to go the last 180 feet. Knock the lead down to 5, perhaps. 2-2 now with 2 outs. The pitch. Maglione, big swing and miss, strike 3, and that ends the inning. But in the inning, 2 runs on 2 hits.
And that's the end of the 5th inning.
2 errors, maybe not, but there was 1 runner left on base. So at the end of 5 innings, Citizens Christian 9, Pacelli 3. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Hey, we're back at Calvary for a Pacelli home game here on the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. The Vikings trailing Citizens Christian by a score of 9-3 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. The Vikings getting a couple of much-needed runs in the bottom of the 5th. A big psychological lift at least because they were down 9-1 after the Patriots hung a 5-spot on them in the 4th inning. But now it's a 6-run game. It's still too much, but at least they've had some good things happen. Dustin Sherman on the mound in relief has done a good job. Got him out of the 4th, allowed only 1 run, gave up 1 hit, but then he got a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th, trying to see if he can keep that thing going. In the 6th, the 2-3-4 hitters coming to the plate for the Patriots. Thomas Gentry will lead things off. Gentry walked in the 1st. He hit a sac fly in the 2nd that would result in 2 runs after with an error on the play, and they got on an error and scored in the 4th. First pitch to Gentry hits him square in the back. Hit by pitch. Pick up a bruise and a base. So leadoff man on for the Patriots here in the top of the 6th inning. And that will bring up Skylar Woods, the catcher.
That'll bring up number 21, Skylar
Woods singled in a run in the 1st, grounded out in the 2nd, then walked and scored in the 4th. That 4th inning where 10 Patriots came to the plate. Dustin Sherman's first pitch to Woods. Big swing, fouled off, strike 1. Gentry broke for 2nd. He has to trot on back now. Well, a smart play. If you're not sure if it was a foul ball, you run. You might be right. You might be wrong. If you're wrong, all it means is you put a little extra effort. So here we go. 0-1. Sherman comes set. The pitch up high for a ball. 1-1 count now. The Vikings went into last inning with just 1 hit on the day, a couple of hits, couple of runs. Meanwhile, trying to see if they can shut Citizens Christian down and give themselves a chance to get back in it. Big swing by Woods, strike 2. 1-2 count now. Runner first, nobody out. The Patriots would really like to add to that lead. They want to retake that momentum. Sun continuing to fall. The trees on the third base side are starting to cast shadows onto the field all the way out to right field. But right field is still a nasty, nasty sun field. First base isn't much better. And the throw to first by Sherman. Gentry dives back in, he's safe. So Sherman comes sent. Here's his 1-2. In the dirt, ball 2. 2-2 count. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark in this ball game. Here in the top of the 6th. Sherman's 2-2. Up high, ball 3. Ball 3. Woods has worked the count full. Being patient. Sherman comes set. Here's the payoff. Ground ball right side, left side, foul. Flagged down by Landon Lauk down there at third base. Except it got past him. They have to go chase it down into left field. But the count remains 3-2. Vikings would really love to have some sort of a comeback here, because they got to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow is a region game. The pitch popped up, shallow right center, and it falls in for the base hit. And that will allow, or will it allow the runner to third? Yes, it does. Gentry sliding in, advances from first to third on the flare single to right field by Woods. So runners on the corners here with nobody out.
Number 7, Blake Bryant.
Skylar Woods back into as the courtesy runner for Woods. And Blake Bryant comes to the plate. Bryant, the Clemson commit, grounded into a fielder's choice in the first, struck out in the third, but in the fourth, ripped a double to left field, a 2-run double that brought in runs number 4 and 5 in the inning and gave the Patriots at the point an 8-run lead at 9-1. Bryant looking to see if he can do it again. Runners in the corners. Runner on first breaks. Bryant swinging. Fouls it directly behind home plate. Again, missing all the cars. The cars driving by. You have to have really bad luck, because if you're moving like that, it's just either you do or you don't. We'll count 0-1 now on Bryant. Sherman coming set. And outside for ball. This time Crosby does not break for second. You got Thomas Gentry on third. You got Tyson Crosby on first. Bryant at the plate. Dustin Sherman comes set. And here's his 1-1 delivery. Outside. Good play by Aponte. Backhands it, keeps it in front of him. Keeps him from getting past him. If that had gotten past him, that's one of the ones would have caromed off, because it was not coming straight at. It was coming at an angle. And that would have meant a run coming in and probably runner on first advancing to second. Again, good play by Aponte. Sherman's 2-1. Crosby breaks. Fly ball to right field. Aiden Ditson cannot chase it. Down goes to the wall. 1 run in. They get the ball back in, so only 1 run scores. But Blake Bryant with another double, this time to right field. And that brings in the 10th run of the game for Citizens Christian. And our runners are on second and third with nobody out, a 1 run in. And bringing Clay Phillips to the, bringing Luke Russ to the plate. Or check that. That brings Sam Abels to the plate. Abels, of course, came in to pitch in the 5th inning. First pitch, ball 1.
Now batting number 5, Sam Abels.
Inside, ball 2. Abels is 3 for 7 on the year. Not a lot of plate appearances. I mean, he's a left-handed pitcher primarily. He scored 5 runs, though. They do use him as a courtesy runner. But 3 for 7 is a pretty good batting average. Let's face it, that's .429. Pitch inside, ball 3. 3-0 count now. Pretty sure Abels is going to leave the bat on his shoulder here. You got runners on second and third. It's a 10-3 game. Sherman comes set. The delivery. Outside. Ball 4. So Abels walks to load the bases for designated hitter Jackson Knight. Except Knight is no longer in the game with the pitching change and all the moves. Looks like Luke Russ will be in there to hit. And that means pitching change time. Let's take a break. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible. To be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. And you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
And we're back at Calvary, where the Pacelli Vikings playing a home game. And a pitching change. Gray Holt has come into the game for the Vikings. This is his third appearance of the season. He's got no record, but an ERA of 7. In 2 innings, given up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Struck out 1, no walks. Opponents hitting .333 against him. And the first hitter facing him will be Luke Russ.
Now batting number 17, Luke Russ.
The right fielder who was originally being designated hitter for. I'm not sure quite what the phrase should be, but Russ swinging, strike 1. Russ coming up with bases loaded and nobody out. The pitch from Holt. Soft tossing lefty, gets him swinging, gets him chasing it. Count now 0-2. Holt, a complete change from both Dixon and Sherman, who bring a pretty decent fastball. Holt's one of those soft tossing lefties, a lot of breaking stuff, good movement on his pitches. The pitch outside. Couldn't get him to chase it. Count now 1-2. Vikings really need to get out of this one. They've given up 1 run in the inning. The lead is back to 7. You certainly don't want to give up enough runs to have the next half inning be your last. The pitch. Ponte tries framing, it doesn't work. Count 2-2 now. Framing pitches is an art form. It's got to be close, and you got to be smooth. Aponte's pretty good at it. I've seen him do a good job with it before. That pitch was just too far outside. Worth the try. Here's your 2-2. Strike 3 looking. Inside corner. Beautiful pitch by Holt. Again, when changing planes, changing speeds matters. And if you're looking at fastballs all day and then get a lot of breaking stuff, it can definitely mess with your swing. All right, Mason Spivey coming to the plate. The 8th grader playing third base. Walked and scored in the second, singled and scored in the fourth, and then popped out to end the inning. He batted twice in that inning. First pitch, strike 1. Again, everybody's got to change your approach now. Holt stuff's coming in. Plus, his delivery point's kind of deceptive. Makes it tough to deal with. Outside, ball 1, 1-1 count. The shadows are starting to lengthen too. Holt is in the sun. The batter's in the shade, so the ball is passing from sun to shade. Also makes it a little bit harder to pick up. Holt winds the 1-1. Fouled off into the screen. 1-2 count. One other thing, with a pitcher like this, the batter has to supply all his own power. When you bring in a 95 or something, it's going to go out faster because it's got a lot of momentum even if you're changing directions on it. His stuff, breaking balls and stuff, it's hard to really square him up. Here's the 1-2. He lines it up the middle, base hit. That's what I get for saying that. And 2 runs will come home. The throw home from Vaughn gets cut off by Maglione. But Mason Spivey, a 2-run single to center field, and that makes it 12-3. Citizens Christian. There is 1 out here in the inning. 3 runs in the frame already for the Patriots. Coming to the plate is Jonah Hall, the left fielder. Hall laid down a sacrifice bunt, a good one, in the second, doubled and scored in the fourth. And that first pitch swinging, foul ball onto the roof of the dugout. Alex Aponte had eyes on that one, but it's not quite going to happen. Hall also struck out in the fifth. Batting here in the sixth inning. The Patriots are up 9. They would like to get that 10th, that extend the lead to 10 and have a chance to close the game out in the bottom of the inning. The Vikings going to do whatever they can to keep things going. Holtz giving up one hit and struck out a batter. He got that first out of the inning, a big deal. Holtz pitch. Sent to right field and falls in front of Aiden Dixon for a single. And the runner charging on home. And that, Connor Reckley scores, and it is now a 10-run game. 13-3 Citizens Christian, which means the Vikings are going to have to score in the bottom of the inning to extend the game. It is now a 4-run sixth inning for the Patriots. And coming to the plate, the number 9 hitter, Landon Williams. Williams singled and scored in the second, struck out in the fourth, and popped out in the fifth. We can close the books on Sherman now. Ended up giving up 5 runs, all earned in 1 2/3 innings with 3 hits, and 3 walks and 1 strikeout. And the pitch, nothing doing there. Count now 2-0. Holt trying to get out of the jam here without surrendering anymore. The Vikings will have to score a minimum of 1 run to extend the game to the 7th. The 2-0 from Holt. Low in the dirt, ball 3. Williams with 2 runners on. Person Mason Spivey and Jonah Hall. Trying to pad that lead to make sure that 6 is as many innings as we go. Holt comes set. The pitch. Outside. Ball 4. He walks. The bases are now loaded. And the number 9 hitter of the inning coming to the plate in the person of Gray McLean. McLean has had a busy day. Got on an error in the first and scored. Singled and scored in the second. Doubled and scored in the fourth. He's got 1 RBI on the contest. Scored 3 runs. Like I said, he's had a pretty good day. Holt's pitch. Sent to right field. Will it stay fair? And it drops in just. It is. Nope, it's foul. Umpire said close but not quite, so everybody has to retreat. Again, bases loaded, 1 out. Top of the order. So this is big. The Vikings really need to get this out. They really need to get out of this inning if they want to keep any hopes alive of keeping this game going. Holt winds the 0-1. In the dirt, 1-1 count. Again, the hitters are forced to change their hitting approach. The last couple of guys have figured it out. The 1-1. Up in the air. Jacob Velo's underneath it. Infield fly roll, so that is out number 2. So 2 outs. And the 10th hitter and Thomas Gentry will come to the plate for the second time in this inning. The 10th hitter of the inning. He got hit by a pitch and scored to lead off the 6th and got the whole merry-go-round started. The Patriots, 4 runs in this inning, have taken a 10-run lead. Gray Holt's pitch. In the dirt, gets away from Aponte. Runner breaks for home. Aponte's throw is not in time. And that allows Mason Spivey to score on a wild pitch. So that's run number 5 of the inning. It's now 14-3. Hall and Williams also advance on the wild pitch. So now it's an 11-run game. Gentry trying to see if he can add to that. Holt winds his 2-0. Gentry chops it down the third base line. It is foul. So that'll make the count 2-1. Again, shadows continuing to advance. as the sun sets behind the hill behind third base. The field is in a natural bowl, which means right field is still a sun field despite the sun setting. It's going to take a little bit more for that to happen. But there's one big tree behind third, which is helping a little bit. And the pitch in the dirt, 3-1. Part of right field's in the shade. In about 20 or 30 minutes, it'll be the sun will be down. But it won't matter to the Vikings unless they can score a couple of runs in the bottom of the inning. Holtz wind, the pitch, inside. All right, that should make the count 3-1, I believe. 3-1? Three and one count now on Gentry. Holt winds, delivers. Chopper down the third base line. Jeremy Corum, the third base coach, scrambling over, showing good hands. Count now 3-2. 3-2 count. The Vikings trying to get out of this inning. Citizens Christian has batted around twice in this game, scoring 5 runs each time. Vikings like to see that 5 would be enough, thank you. Outside pitch, ball 4. And the runner breaks from third. Aponte throws the ball into the outfield, and that allows the runner to score. Everybody else advances as well. Jonah Hall coming home. He basically broke home. Aponte looked up, chased him back to third, tried to flip it to Lauk, and then airmailed the throw into left field. And that allowed Hall to score another run. Williams moved up to third. And Gentry moves to second. Ouch. So it's 6 runs in this inning, and it's now 15-3. Skylar Woods at the plate now. First pitch from Holt. Nice pitch outside corner, strike 1. Woods singled home a run in the first, grounded out in the second, walked and scored in the fourth. Well, his courtesy runner walked and scored in the fourth. And he singled in the sixth, and the courtesy runner in this inning already, and a courtesy runner scored for him. And now it's a 1-1 count on Woods. Vikings just trying to get out of this thing. The pitch from Holt in the dirt. 2-1 count now. Runner in third, 2 outs, 6 runs in. It's now a 12-run deficit. The Vikings will have to score 3 runs in the inning to keep the game alive. Gray Holt winds, 2-1, outside 3-1. They're trying to get out of this one right now. They just got one more out, but sometimes that one more out takes a long time. And we've reached and passed the 2 minute. We're at the 2:14 mark of this ball game. Here's the pitch from Holt. Sent to right field. Aiden Dixon underneath, making the and it falls off his glove. The sun gets him again. Throw down, run scores. It's a 2-run error. And a run comes home. So it's an 8-run inning. Landon Williams was moving on the hit. And Gentry comes in to score.
Number 12, Jotham Corbin.
So 8 runs in the inning now. It's 17-3. Ouch. And at the plate is Blake Bryant. Bryant takes it for strike 1. Nope, we have a pinch hitter for him. Jotham Corbin hitting for Bryant. Corbin, a sophomore. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Strike 2, rather. Corbin, 1 for 5 on the season, getting some rare playing time. A perfect opportunity to get one of the younger guys into the game here. Remember, Citizens Christian's got another game coming against Calvary when this one's over. Holt comes set, the pitch. It's a ball, 1-2 count. Holt's delivery. Corbin fouls it off into the screen. Count remains 1-2. So Holt getting the sign. He's one strike away here from getting out of the inning. The delivery. Strike 3 looking, and that is the inning. But in the inning, 8 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits. There were 2 errors and 1 runner left on base. So at the end of 5 1/2 innings, Citizens Christian 17, Pacelli 3. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
And we're back at Calvary for the bottom of the 6th inning as the Pacelli Vikings, with their backs to the wall here, trailing Citizens Christian 17-3. The Vikings need to score at least 5 runs to keep the game going. Going to be tough. They've only got 3 hits on the day, and it will be 8-9-1 due up at the plate for the Vikings. Sam Abels looks like he's ready and willing and able to try to close things out for the Patriots. Leading things off will be Gray Holt. Holt coming into the game to pitch in the 6th inning. Holt on the season is 2 for 5. He's had some success at the plate the few times he's gotten up there. This is only his 4th appearance as a hitter, 4th appearance as the season. 2 for 5, so he's hitting .400. Come on, he's got a run batted in as well. Abels gets the sign, and the first pitch to Gray Holt. Holt fouls it off into the screen, strike 1. Vikings trying to dig out of a big hole. Citizens Christian, 17 runs on 11 hits, just 1 error. Vikings, 3 runs, 3 hits, 3 errors. Here's the pitch. Curveball up high, ball 1. 1-1 count. It started off good for the Vikings, but things kind of started falling apart in the 4th inning with a couple of errors that led to problems, and then a 5-run 4th and an 8-run 6th. Swing, strike 2. 1-2 count now on Gray Holt. Again, the Vikings get to shake this one off, and they get ready for the big series, the one series that will determine if they have a shot at the playoffs. They're going to be hosting Strong Rock tomorrow night at 5:30 on senior night. Pitch, Holt fouled off right side toward the cars, but doesn't hit a car. Good. All right. Count remaining 1-2. Anyway, the series against Strong Rock will determine if they have anything left in the tank. They really need to sweep Strong Rock. If they do, they might have a shot at moving into the 12th and last spot in the playoff drive. Holt sending it down the third base line for what could be extra base and into the corner. The big guy goes chugging into second base. He is safe. Gray Holt with a double to left field. That's a nice way to start the bottom of the 6th inning. All right, Vikings. We'll see who goes in as a courtesy runner for Holt. I can pretty much assure you they will use him. Gray is not fleet of foot, but that was a nice rip down the line. And I did not say, I turned my head, I didn't see who came in as a courtesy runner, but Aiden Dixon comes to the plate. Dixon on the day, struck out in the 2nd and grounded out in the 4th. Here he's got a shot at driving in a run. He's got 3 ribbies on the year. It'd be nice to see him pick up a hit here. The Vikings just want to get something positive out of this here in the 6th. Dixon, big swing and a miss, strike 1. That's David Mann at 2nd. Man, the courtesy runner. Dixon trying to man up, as it will, drive him home. Abels comes set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball inside. Count 1-1. Cam Carino on deck. Carino, of course, came into the game hitting .440. And he had the first hit of the day. He's 1 for 2 on the day. So Carino's the guy you want to get up there. See if he can get something going here. Again, anything positive, getting a run, getting something, getting a little bit of momentum going into that final three-game series of the regular season would be big. Abels comes set. Here's his 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Big swing from Aiden Dixon. So 1-2 count. Vikings getting the leadoff guy in scoring position here, but needing 5 runs to keep the game alive. The 1-2 delivery. Dixon watches. Ball 2. Good eye on that one, a little bit low. 2-2 count. Aiden Dixon. Sun almost down all the way, almost the entire field in shadow. Outside, ball 3, 3-2 count now. The whole infield, the infield grass is now basically in shadow. Center field and right field still in the sun. Right field is still ugly, and where the first baseman is in the dirt is still, it's actually kind of uglier now because the sun is so low. It'll be down soon. 3-2, up high, ball 4. Dixon works the walk. For Dixon, that is the 12th walk of the season, and that will bring up Cam Carino. Carino, the top hitter on the Vikings. A couple runners on, trying to get something in here. Again, the Vikings trailing 17-3 after an 8-run inning by Citizens Christian in the top of the 6th. They need to score 5 to extend the game to the 7th. Carino. First pitch from Abels is outside for ball 1. David Mann on second. Aiden Dixon on first. Nobody out. Abels comes set. Here's the lefty's 1-0. Carino sending it to the gap in left center field. It's going to roll for a while. Mann comes charging home. Aiden Dixon pulling up its third, and Carino with a stand-up double.
RBI double for Carino.
Carino with the RBI double, and that cuts it to 17-4. First run of the inning for the Vikings. Getting something positive out of it. Really, really needed that. And that puts runners in second, third for Nolan Vaughn. They got 1. They need to come up with 4 more runs to extend the ball game. Vaughn on the day. Walked, and then he doubled and scored on a balk. A balk that I'll credit to Jacob Velos, who was distracting, leading off at first base, dancing around, and got Abels to twitch his knee the wrong way. It was a clean, clear balk. Abels will be working out of the windup here. First pitch to Vaughn. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. Breaking pitch, good pitch. So again, Aiden Dixon on to second. Aiden Dixon on third. Cam Carino on second. Nolan Vaughn at the plate. The pitch inside. That puts the count at 1-1. Sam Abels is trying to slam the door on this thing. The Vikings, they've got 1 run. They've got 2 more in scoring position. They need 5 to extend the game. Abels gets the sign. And here is his 1-1 delivery. Up high. Ball 2, 2-1. Again, Citizens Christian they're going to wrap it up. They're going to play another game today. They will take on host Calvary about half an hour after this one is done. They want to get this game over with because they still got work to do. Abels. Here's his 2-1. In the dirt, bounces past the catcher. Aiden Dixon sprints on home on the wild pitch. The Vikings with 2 runs in the inning. It's now 17-5. So suddenly now they need 3 runs to keep the game going. Every little bit helps, and even if they can't extend it, they've got some runs. They've shown life. They haven't thrown in the towel. They're going to need it for this week, as when they take on Strong Rock. Abels out of the wind, the 3-1. And ground ball, sharp ground ball to short. It handcuffs Gray McLean, and the run comes home. Thing took a hop. We'll see if they call that one a hit, a single. Brings in a run. I'm going to call it one. We'll see. They can always tell me I'm wrong. But Vaughn with the RBI single here, and suddenly it's 17-6. And here comes a trip to the mound. And Sam Abels will not be able to finish it off. Let's take a break. You're watching the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
For your surprisingly great race, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Purdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back to the Beck Center Game of the Week being played here at Calvary as the Pacelli Vikings are hosting Citizens Christian, and the Patriots making a pitching change as the Vikings have shown a big sign of life with 3 runs in the inning. Coming in to pitch is Gray McLean, moving in from shortstop. He's a senior. This is his 6th appearance. He's 3-0 in the season. His ERA is a sparkling 0.50. 14 innings pitched, giving up just 8 hits, 1 run, which was earned, struck out 18, and hasn't walked a soul. So they're bringing in a gun. They want to get this thing over with. Again, Citizens Christian has a big interest in not extending this game because they've got a game against Calvary coming up after this one is over. They're playing a doubleheader, so they're playing to get it over with. The Vikings, on the other hand, want to extend this thing. This is a non-district game. Tomorrow, they start their last series of their last league series, and they need a sweep in that one to try to claim a playoff spot. So getting something out of this and going in with a positive mindset will matter. And coming to the plate, Jacob Velos. Velos is 1 for 3 on the day. Singled and scored in the 5th. He's also hit a sacrifice fly in the 1st, drove in his 20th run of the season. He's had a pretty decent day in the field as well, other than 1 throwing error. All right, the 1-0. McLean, ground ball to short, holding short. The throw over to second is in time. Great play out there in the field, to say the least, by the shortstop who came in for Gray McLean, and I can't make out the number because we're now in shade. But a fielder's choice, and that is the second out. The ball was hit in the hole. It's short. Nice backhand stop. That was Spivey, the 8th grader, who slid over to short. He made a great backhand stop over to second for the out, and that will bring up Levi Thompson. First pitch to Thompson, strike 1 on the outside corner. Gray McLean trying to close this thing out. The Vikings need 2 runs. They need Velos to score, and they need Thompson to get on and score as well. The pitch, inside, ball 1. 1-1 count. Vikings trailing 17-6, and as you know, it's a 10-run rule. The 10-run rule is in effect. They need a couple more big hits to extend the game into the 7th. The pitch from McLean, up high, ball 2, 2-1 count. So there's still a little bit of life here. 1 out here in this inning. McLean's pitch. Thompson takes it. Ball 3, 3-1 count on Levi Thompson. Thompson, 3 plate appearances, 3 walks. Let's see if he's going to get the hat trick plus for walks. Here's the 3-1. Swinging, fouled off. Misses all the cars behind home plate. Count now 3-2. The sun is now almost dropped behind the hill. Right field is still in nasty, nasty sun field. The pitch. Strike. He strikes out. Velos manages to steal second, however, on the pitch. So out number 2. 2 out. Alex Aponte coming to the plate. Velos now at second base. The Vikings need 2 runs to extend this game, but there's 2 outs now. Gray McLean trying to come in and shut this thing down and get it over with. Alex Aponte. The first pitch to Aponte. Ground ball toward the left side. Scooped up and handcuffed Spivey at short. He might have been safe anyway. That was a dribbler. Spivey charged it, but Spivey charged the ball. I don't think he would necessarily have gotten Aponte at first. I'm going to call that one a hit. We'll see what they do. Yep, they're calling it a hit. So it's a single. Now you have the runs you need on base, and it's up to Billy Smith to keep this thing going. McLean comes set. The pitch to Smith. Smith takes it for strike 1. Jacob Velos is on third. Can't make out the courtesy runner on first. I think it's Mann. No, it wouldn't be Mann. The pitch. Curveball up high for a ball. It's hard to read the numbers now with the sun dropping down. The lights are now coming on, but they haven't really taken effect yet. 1-1 pitch. Smith fouls it off into the screen, 1-2. So here we go. Runners on the corners, 1-2, 2 outs. Vikings need 2 runs to extend the game to the 7th inning, but they're down to their last strike. McLean's pitch. Strike 3 looking, and that is your ball game. Billy Smith strikes out. Gray McLean comes in and takes care of business and shuts the door. In the inning, there were 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and there was 2 runners left on base. So that is your ball game. The Citizens Christian Patriots beating Pacelli 17-6 and doing it in 6 innings. For Citizens Christian, 17 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. For the Vikings, 6 runs, 6 hits on 4 errors. And our player of the game, it's got to be Blake Bryant. Bryant was the big man at the plate. There were a lot of big men at the plate for the Patriots, but quite frankly, he was the big man. He went 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles, drove in 3 runs, and scored 1. He is the commitment. He's the commit going to Clemson, showing why. The senior first basemen are Alex Quinney, All-State Good Hands Player of the Game. So put this one in the books. The Pacelli Vikings fall to Citizens Christian 17-6. Tomorrow the Vikings will be taking on Strong Rock at home at Dymel Field on senior night. That game will get started at 5:30. After the players, of course, are honored, and I'll be making the call on that one. But there's another game coming up here from Calvary, as Citizens Christian will play the Calvary Knights. That game will also be here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So stick around. There's some more good baseball coming. For producer Ricky Rogers, I'm Dave Plata.